hectic. Alright, so. Oh, we didn't start. Damn. Alright, I've got a new plan this time. Not doing Skeletron. We're gonna be just skipping, going straight to Wall of Flesh. Hold on. Might as well take this palm. Make palm wood for the boys. Palm wood for the boys. Palm wood for the boys. How many? You don't really get much from palm wood, do you? And I figured to get rid of all that rubbish there, you need to get rid of the water. No, that's wind music. Please give me sunflowers. Yes. Oh, 2 deserts. That sucks. Faster than walking back. And that is very good. Place 1. Sell 4. Buy 6 bombs. And mainly get it for stone. Won't be able to get all 3 trees, will I? Oh, almost. Alright, palm wood for the boys. Oof. Wow. Cheers, mate. Wow. 5. Deadly. Like these deadly weapons. Alright, so which desert should we tackle first? It's suppose we should build more ammo. And we'll also pre-build a furnace for later. We do plan on surviving, so... Alright. Then we'll spend these on arrows, so they're more deadly, with our deadly bow. Oh dear. And damage over time is good. 1. And you get to see the little sparkle trails. Paper aeroplane. You. We can make more ammo. Take it out from a long range. And miss every shot. $3 silver. Money's always a thing in this.
Hey Sash.
Yo, what's going on, Aaron? How you going, man? Oh, now there's 2 of them.
How are you?
Yeah, good. I've got a new strategy planned. I'm gonna skip Skeletron and just go for Wall of Flesh. Give me a pyramid. Come on, Terraria. You know you want to. Pyramid, please. No.
New world.
Yeah, I died to Skeletron. Oh, well. I actually died to fall damage while fighting him. I was gonna win too. Oh, it was so disappointing. I was like, oh,
LMAO.
wow, of all things, I've died of fall damage? I felt like such a rookie. Ooh, that thing there, see that thing there? That thing chops. OHKO. Wow, I'm out of ammo, but that's okay. What we'll do is we will grab this iron. That sounds like a good idea, and then we'll make an iron pickaxe, and then we'll ransack that snow biome. Hopefully it'll be enough. I think it will. Okay, so now we should definitely block that off. Don't know if I can handle another rookie mistake like that. My poor fragile ego can't handle anymore. Ooh, just enough. Come on, come on, come on, deadly. Oh. But still, that's alright. So, what have we got? I'm gonna kill those slimes so that we've got some more torches. Jump over there, like that. Just kill them with normal arrows, because, you know, incendiary objects are like pretty scarce these days. Gotta watch out for zombies. They're about to start falling down from the top. So what we'll do is, now we've got some more torches, we'll box up and do one of the most boring things you can do in Terraria, and that is dig. See, we still need snow. Not snow, sorry. We need stone.
It's morning for you.
It is lunchtime. It's 12:09 PM. So this boundary here is good for us because we'll be able to pick up ice and we'll also be able to pick up stone, hopefully. There's ice. What time is it for you? What's with all the dirt? There we go. Still, it's not much. Yay.
2 p.m.
Oh really? Where are you? I'm in Perth, WA, Western Australia. So you'd be, what, Eastern States? Or along that same timeline? Alright, that'll do for the stone.
Adelaide, SA.
Oh yeah, cool. Adelaide, SA. I had to, I took a train from Perth through to Victoria, Melbourne, and the train stopped in Adelaide, and then I had to catch another train. But I ended up, when I got to Adelaide, because what happened was, when I was younger, I went on a holiday and I left my wallet on top of a car, and then fucking mum drove off or whatever, and the wallet fell off the top of the car and I lost like all of my ID. And yeah, so when I got back, like this was before I really needed any ID. When I got back, time went on, and then like all of a sudden, you know, I started to like really need ID, and I was like trapped because I couldn't prove who I was because I was born in Victoria. Yeah, I couldn't prove who I was to get them to send me a birth certificate because I didn't have any ID. So, like after a few years, like quite a few years, I ended up getting one of my friends to buy a train ticket for me. Like I paid for it, but I got him to buy it, and I like used his ID to get on, so I could go to Victoria and get my birth certificate. But what I'd done is I had saved up like 3 months worth of work, like pay, and I'd planned to move like over east, and I didn't know where I was gonna move. Like, you know, things just weren't working out here. There was like work was drying up, all that sort of stuff. And I was like, you know, maybe I'll find a new fortune and adventure on the eastern states. And yeah, so I cruised across the Nullarbor on this train doing 100 k's an hour, and just getting like drunk, because there was like, it cost me so much money though, because each beer was like, you know, $6 or whatever. So it was like, and I was drinking like, you know, fucking 20 beers a day or whatever. It's like $120 a day in piss, because it was just fucking boring. Like so flat, man. Like Nullarbor is just like shing. Like, and I still don't believe that the earth is flat. Like, dumb. And I've seen flat earth. But yeah, so when I pulled in, like I actually had like a busted shoulder.
Wasted LMAO.
Yeah, like wasted, brother. 420, blaze it up. Yeah, so when I got to Adelaide, I had like 3 bags on me, because like I'd planned to move over there, like sold all my shit, and just like reduced all of my items down to like 3 bags. Like didn't have a computer or anything like that, you know. But I had a busted shoulder, because like I got into a tussle with one of my mates, like while we were maggot, like, you know, a couple of nights before, and like he landed on me. It was by accident, but he was like, here's a big dude, like, you know, 6'4", like, you know, it was accidental, but it was just like crunch, and fuck, man, it hurt so much. And I was like carrying around these bags, I remember that, and I like got off the train finally, and it was just like this new city. Like I'd seen it before, I'd lived in Adelaide before, but that was when I was really, really young, so I didn't remember jack shit. And I remember the first thing like that I did was I went to McDonald's, and I got a double quarter pounder.
Saw you got killed by Skeletron. Maybe skip him this time.
Yeah, I'm skipping him, my brother. Yeah, the first thing I did when I got to Adelaide was I got a double quarter pounder from McDonald's, and it was literally the best fucking double quarter pounder I've ever had. Like, I don't know what it is about Adelaide, like Macca's, but it's just so much better than everywhere else. It was crazy. Like the quality and grade of the ingredients was just so much higher. It was nuts. But yeah, to like skimp out on money, I ended up staying in this hostel. And it was on the piss, man. Like, if you live in Adelaide, you probably know the hostel. It was like run down, like full of like druggies, fucking, and it was just like, you know, the tower's like supposed to be like this, but it's just like fucking like that. I remember like I was lying on the bed in there, and like,
Yeah.
you know, you can literally, the whole thing's just like slanted, and I was just like, whoa, man, like, is this thing gonna fucking fall over? Like, and it's like having a shower in a slanted shower. It's like, fuck, I live in the leaning tower of like Pisa. It was crazy. It was a good experience. Hell, like dirty. But anyway, like, I ended up catching up with my brother's family, like, because we've got different dads. We have the same mum but different dads, my brother and I. So, you know, like, after I like fucked around in like Junkie Town for a bit, like, went and saw.
I've never been in Perth.
Perth's good. It's nice. It's like cleaner, more spread out. I suppose the people, it depends on where you are. Like northern suburbs, the people can be snobby or super nice. It's weird. There's like sections of like, you know, super nice people, which is like where I'm at now in Mullaloo, or there's just sections of the same class type, but they're just like super snobby and arrogant. I liked Adelaide. Like, I lived there when I was younger. Like I said before, I lived in the Macclesfield, not the Macclesfield. I lived in Macclesfield, which is, from what I remember, it was the Adelaide Hills. There was a cheese factory up there, and we actually lived in that cheese factory for a bit. I remember, like, we had donkeys, 2 donkeys, and like a massive like water reservoir tank that the fire department like used, and there was actual like huge koi in there, so we used to go like fishing on top of this like massive like wall, like, and on the inside it's just like a big silo full of water, and there's like fuckloads of fish and shit in there. It's crazy. Like, someone must have just like chucked a couple in there and it's just exploded. But yeah, we used to sell them to the pet shop for $5 each, which was like big for us back in the day. I was only like, you know, 6. Entrepreneur. But I remember one time I actually fell off, and because you sit, it was like a silo wall edge that was like, say, 600 mil wide or whatever, like a concrete steel wall, and then like there's like a sheer drop all the way around it. And like once I just like fell back, and man, I remember that. It was like I fell for ages. I was just like, and I was like already on my back, so I was like, ah, and I like hit the deck like bang, just like couldn't breathe. Like, I was just, you know, winded for like a minute. And then as soon as like I could breathe, I just like fucking was screaming. Little pussy. So dumb. Like, I remember I didn't really hurt myself that badly. It was more just like the shock of falling that distance. Good old memories. Macclesfield. Yeah, like when I went back there to stay with my brother's like family, because I went to school at Macclesfield like when I was younger. Like, you know, as I said, I was like 6. Like, I remember, you know, quite a few people, like kids that I was played with at that age, and I had sadly learned that most, or what I considered most of, like, you know, the prominent people that I remembered, like, you know, vividly, had mainly died in car accidents. And that kind of made me a bit sad. And I was like, it's common over here to, you know, in some areas anyway, it's quite common to just go down the pub and have like quite a few beers with your mates and then drive home. And like, you know, in Adelaide, it's like, those roads are just so dangerous, man. Like, dangerous because it's just stretch. There's like so many turns, and it's like dark, and there's like fucking forest and like cliffs. It's just crazy. And people are driving home like, you know, off their face. Sad. And you just like, and that's the thing, when you do that, if you do that sort of thing like continually, you just become accustomed to it. So you inevitably lapse in concentration and get a bit too comfortable, and then it's over. So don't drink and drive, kids. Seriously. It's definitely one of the reasons why I'm not interested in cars whatsoever, is just because of other people being drunk on the road. Oof. Watch out.
Used. I see asterisk.
Yeah. Like, I had a couple of cars. My first car was actually a bit too powerful for me. It was a VL wagon. Like, had all the like shit done to it, like distractors and all that, like, you know. And for a first car, like, it wasn't incredibly powerful. It wasn't like a V8 or anything, you know. But for a first car, it was like well beyond the scope of my level. And the person who sold it to me was like, you know, are you sure you want to buy this? Like, it's probably not a good first car. And I was like, stupid, obviously. As most boys are, I guess. And I was like, oh, I can handle it. Well, I couldn't. I think I crashed it like the first week. But not badly. I was like doing, I was drifting when it was pissing down with rain. And I've just like overcorrected way too hard and just gone like smash into the metal like, not metal, wooden, you know, the wooden bollard things with the, like, ones on top. So it's like 2 wooden posts and then a wooden post across the top. Like, they're about that thick. Green. Well, anyway, they were all along the edge of the road, and I've just, like, come in, like, sideways, and, like, you know, so I, like, perfectly pushed one bollard, like, section over, like, no damage to the car at all, and then I've just skewered the front light with the other bollard, and it's just gone straight into the engine bay. Like, dumbass. And that cost quite a bit to get fixed. I was like, no, my baby, like. Just so dumb. I haven't had very good luck with cars. I mean, I had that one, and then I took a break from having cars after what happened with the end of that car was we wanted to go drifting. I didn't want to go, but, you know, everyone, come on man, let's go. And then, you know, the peer pressure. It's like, alright, whatever, like, you know, we all jumped in our cars like car boys. So gay. We went down to the, like, pines, which is like, there's just pine plantations, and there's like a, what they call a mud pit, where it's just a flat expanse of, like, dirt that turns to mud if it's raining. But if it's not raining, it's pretty hard. Like, you know, it's like a hard ground dirt, like flat, solid. Well, anyway, it was night time, and like, we're all, like, you know, one at a time. I've got lights around and shit, and apparently someone had set up a bonfire that none of us had seen, and it had, like, massive, like, you know, because someone had been chopping down, like, these big trees of pine, and it had, like, big, massive, like, you know, chunks or, like, slices of, like, the trunks. So, you know, like, if you ran into it, you would, like, it would smash your car. Anyway, it was my turn to, like, you know, do the burnouts and the fucking, like, get doughies and ram, be a, like, hero. And I've, like, swung out, and because it was a bonfire stack, like, they've stacked it all up, right? And I've just hit this thing sideways in the dark, thinking that there's nothing, right? Like, so for me, in my mind, like, all I can see is, like, headlights, so I know where I've got to be, right? So I've like stayed in this, like, zone, and just, like, hit this fucking, like, bonfire section, and, like, the car's, like, just gone buzz, and I'm like, whoa, like, what the fuck? Like, and, you know, it felt like I got heaps of air, but I probably didn't. But anyway, like, the car was like, and then I, like, put my foot on the gas, and it's like, wham! I'm like, oh no, what the fuck's happened? And, like, I've pretty much, like, bellied myself on this, like, log. So I've just, like, you know, skipped up onto it and, like, landed on it and fucking, like, gutted myself. No wheels on the ground. And, like, I had the most powerful car there, and none of the other boys had, like, you know, anything close to the pulling power that could pull it off, this thing. Like, we tried for, like, an hour, and, like, I just had enough. I didn't even want to be out there, and now I'm like, my car was fucked. I was like, fuck this, man, I want to go home. Like, I'm done. And then, like, the next day when we went out there, someone had torched it. It was sitting on a bonfire. Like, you know, what you gonna do? Yo.
From 1 to 1:30, they've got 100 minutes, so can we keep it down between them?
Yeah.
Is that alright?
Yeah. As long as you do. You know.
Of course.
Alright. No, I'm kidding.
No, he's just come up with a
Yeah, did he?
Yeah.
What, 1:30?
Between 1 and 1:30.
Alright.
Yeah.
What? So, yeah, alright, got ya.
Just keep it down.
Yeah, I'll pause streaming. Yeah. So. That's why. That's one of the reasons why as well. Just not a fan of cars. Like, I stopped driving for a while, but then an opportunity came along where someone was selling like a really nice car for really cheap because there was a crack in the head. Oh yeah, nice. So I was like, oh yeah, cool, man. Like, you know, it was a Cordia turbo and he was selling it for 500, and I was like, the car was worth way more than 500.
And you couldn't resist.
Yeah, I couldn't resist. So I bought the car and like immediately bought the parts to fix it. It was still running, so I could drive it like while the head was cracked. It's just like, you know, obviously if I gave it any curry, like it would just like, you know, it would mix too much water with the oil. Or oil, yeah. And then, you know, you lose performance, so you had to take it easy. And I ended up convincing my mum's boyfriend at the time to help me, because he was actually working in the mines, but he was a mechanic beforehand. And he agreed, and I was like, fuck yeah, sick, man, wicked. And like it turned out to be like a real nightmare, eh? As most things are. But it ended up like, you know, after much fucking around over like an entire weekend, we finally figured out what was going on and like fixed like all the timing and everything. And like that car, man, for what it was, it just fucking hammered, eh? It did like, you know, I was doing like 140 in third. And it was like, it was quick because it had a turbo. It was like, yeah, sickest car, like little car anyway. And it didn't look overly aggressive, so, you know, cops left it alone, but damn, it was quick. Anyway, like, I'd had it for about, I don't know, 2 weeks after, like that, and I was, you know, slowly doing things to it, like, well, not slowly,
Could
like,
have sold and made profit.
yeah, like, could have easily, like, and because I was still upgrading everything in the engine bay and shit, like, you know, putting new filters in, like, the job wasn't done, so to speak, like, so, you know, just to get it to work, I'd bypassed, like, the actual electronics and just was running, like, the radiator off of the battery, like, you know, directly, like, just temporarily, because, you know, I just wanted to see if the thing would work, you know, and I was still working on it. So it was by no means like finished, but all of the heavy work in it had been just done, you know. So basically, like, there was rewiring to be done and all that sort of stuff, like just an engine clean, and basically like that was it. It was ready. And my ex-girlfriend was like, woke me up and was like, oh, can we borrow your car? Can we borrow your car? I'm just like, fuck off. Like, you know, I was asleep or whatever. And I was like, you know, she wouldn't leave me alone. And I was just like, take the keys, like, go away. Like, you know, I was just wanted to be left alone. And, next morning when I woke up, she's like, oh, last night, your car got yellow stickered. I was not happy. Like, you know, back then, I mean, it's a little bit different now, but back then it was notoriously hard to get anything over the pits. Like, it was literally just a death sentence for your car. I just, like, dropped to my knees and I was just like... And from that point on, I was like, that's it. No more cars. I'm done. That's... fuck this. Like, both times I didn't want to fucking do it. Like, you know, it wasn't like rah, and then I just lost my car. Like, twice. And then, you know, all you ever hear people don't talk about cars like, oh, this is my sick car. They only talk about whinging about cars, and then they show their cars off. Like, I don't know. Like, I would like to have a nice car, but I think, well, I'd have to be like, you know, pretty wealthy so that if it cost me money, I wouldn't care. But until then, to me it just seems like a luxury item. A dangerously expensive one. Like, unless you need it for work. Then it becomes an asset. But if you don't actually need it for work, then it's a liability. A lot of people will, you know, they'll argue that their liabilities are assets when, you know, they just want it rather than needing it. And they'll justify their want with a need. I need it. Like, but you can catch a bus. I hate the bus. Yeah, but you don't need a car.
Isn't it scary to drive a car?
Yeah, it is. Oh, I also drove a truck for 2 years as well. And I know how to drive heavy machinery. Done a lot of that. I've been a good little slave for most of my life. Now there's like basically no work because of this coronavirus rubbish. It's like, alright, well, stay at home. Don't work. Right.
That's good, so you can stream more.
Yep. Well, it's literally like, now I'm like, alright, well, if I can't work, then streaming becomes work. It's like, you know? And that's it. I gotta, like, you know, have some sort of, like, I don't think there's gonna be much money in Australia, like, not for, you know, labour and stuff. It's just this coronavirus has kind of laid things out bare. It's removed a lot of useless industry. If your industry wasn't really, you know, semi-critical or largely valued, like, it's gone. Oh, I can't believe that got those two. Alright. Well, next door's having a home open. And, you know, they want me to be quiet. Which is quite hilarious because I'm not really loud. But, you know, I'm not going to argue the point. I'm just going to not stream for that time. Go out. And then everyone's happy. And I'll be back to stream after the home open is over. The reason why is, I guess, because this is like a double house. It's like a townhouse where it's, you know, it's like a mirror image in a larger complex thing. I mean, it's quite stupid really. They should have at least, you know, put a... No, it's so cheap. Skimping, like they like... I know, let's put two houses together, then we can take a whole wall out of the building costs. It's like, yeah, but then each house can hear each other. And the thing about that is when you buy a property like that, you don't think about that because, you know, you're not looking at the other side of the house. And the real estate's definitely not going to bring that up as a point because then people won't want to buy it. So it's kind of like a hush-hush thing, like, don't tell anyone that you can hear through the wall. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? It's like passing on the curse. Sort of. It's not really a curse. I suppose that's a bit drastic. But, you know, they are trying to sell the house, so I'll do whatever they wish. I wouldn't want to, like, you know, if someone asks you to do something like that and there's a resulting factor that affects their life, like in a big way, even if you think that what you're not going to have an impact, just do what they say anyway. Because then if you don't and something goes wrong, and it might not even be because of you, you potentially could get blamed. Anti-scapegoating 101 with Sash. Alright, so... Wow. I'll have to stop the stream in 5 minutes and then I'll be back at 2. So I'll be back in 70 minutes.
Okay.
Like, I'm not sure, like she said from 1 till 1:30. So I'll just, you know, I'll make sure that there's more time on top. 10 extra before and 30 after. That guarantees no whinging. How good snow cannon. It's just like doos. So dope. Especially deadly.
24 HR stream.
Yeah, no worries. Let's go. We'll put on a timer after this, see if we can do a 24-hour-y. Like, I want to get to freaking hard mode, man. I'm over this Skeletron crap. Like, I'm kind of glad it happened now, because, you know, I spent a hell of a lot of effort and a hell of a lot of time setting up for it, and I died to fall damage anyway, so I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to kill Wall of Flesh. I'm going to, like, you know, lighten up the entire game plan so it doesn't take 20 bloody hours. So my plan is, I'll explain before I go. So before, what I was doing was I was bombing out a big section of corruption to fight Eater of Worlds, but then I ended up versing him on top of the area anyway. So if the area is going to look like this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a block line across there and then fight him upside down on that, and then have this open area as the battleground rather than having to bomb it out. So that cuts out hours out of that. The elevator's good. We don't need to go to the snow, the beach. We don't need to fight Skeletron. We don't need to kill Queen Bee. We just need to kill EOC, build that thing across there, tunnel or do a elevator shaft all the way down, get our hearts and stuff from that on the way down, and then yeah, kill Eater of Worlds. When we get to the bottom, we should have enough resources by then to kill that boss or wherever it is, and then yeah, start farming for stars. Or actually no, we're not going to farm for stars. We're going to build a rail that just runs across the top here, but only when we've got the right tools and equipment. So we're not going to fuck around. We're just going to like make like 7,000 rail and like go do it like that, and then put platforms above them, and then I'm going to set up hoiks. I don't know. Yeah, no, because I don't know what's the fastest. That's the fastest way to get stars. because I'm going to need a star cannon. Looking at the specs on Wall of Flesh, it's got plus 50% extra health, and he's marginally faster. So, because we're only focusing on this section here, and we only have to tunnel down basically, like that's all we're doing is building a elevator. We're going to build a elevator, build a hell bridge, build a bridge across the top of corruption, and I don't know about stars if we do the rail or not. We'll see what we find. Yeah. And then that takes all that shit out, and then I don't have to do all that rubbish. It's just like dig down, gather resources, and then fish. Fucking fishing. But anyway, I'll be back in 70 minutes, and we're gonna kick ass this time. Like, you know, that's the third time now that I've had the bridge complete, ready to go, and then I've gone and fucking like done Skeletron and died. And if you ever look at the like buff list that he's got for the worthy, it's just ridiculous. Like, you know, I was just looking at it like, why? No wonder I'm dying. Like, I'm a moron. Why have I been doing this? So yeah, see ya in 70.
Haha GL.